Greetings by fellow free love and thinkers. This is LL3's News Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy mangroves of South Florida. And today's date is Wednesday, October 11th, 2017. I'm just chilling in the downtown area, the business district of Fort Lauderdale. And it's a beautiful day. It rained a little bit, but that's okay. But it's not as hot like before. Pleasant at night. Very happy about it. Before I pursue on my main topic, I want to address something that's very essential in my realm, and everyone else should be aware too. This is from the architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth. It's entitled the Bobby McIlvaine Act. 16 years after the fateful events of September 11, 2001, it's time once and for all for the U.S. Congress to open an unbiased investigation and use its subpoena power to uncover the full truth surrounding the destruction of the 3 World Trade Center towers. That's 1, 2, and 7 to be exact. Bobby McIlvaine Act, named after the 26-year-old who was tragically killed entering the North Tower and whose father, Bob, has been outspoken advocate for a new investigation, would impanel a select committee in either chamber to reinvestigate the disaster. And you could hit the link, which tells about the email. And right now, it's been some issues right now on how to get in that. However, you can still, let me see, nothing there. Okay, well, you can still use other methods of getting the word out, just to let you folks know. Snail mail, and you can copy and paste the facility. It's the facility itself. Like to them, email it. You can copy link to PDF format. It's 4 pages long. And I say yes, we have to have a thorough, unbiased investigation of what happened 16 years ago. There's one of the most essential motives to finally, officially put the truth out. Regardless how you believe how the towers came down. Many of us know for sure that the official story is nothing more than a monumental deception based on these elements. You can say there's no plain sit, that doesn't matter. You gotta look at it across the board. Even if you support Judy Wood's intake on this, regardless, the official story has to come out. So please, share this with everyone you know around the world, even the United States. Because I said this for a very long time. What happened on September 11, 2001 was considered to be a New World Order agenda. I won't use inside job, with all due respect, because it's too vague, bland, and people get distorted when I address the New World Order agenda and play all the details afterwards, what happened on that horrific event. You'd be surprised how people comprehend it a lot more eye-opening, more interesting, intriguing. So I beseech everyone out there to share this to everyone you know, because it has to stop. The madness has to stop now. War on terror is a conflagration with ourselves, and not just the United States, but around the world. So I'm going to leave that up there as a plug-in. So folks, check it out. The main topic is in reference to a Miami Beach police officer parody Twitter site named Ernesto Rodriguez. And they have a suspect named Ernesto Orsetti for impersonating an officer, which is a third-degree felony. A lot of folks, like myself, consider it to be a free speech issue. This is a parody. That's okay. It's good humor. But they're saying he impersonated a police officer. And that is very dangerous. And you know what? Before I proceed, I will return just a little bit. Stay tuned. Oh, sorry about that. I should have put this up in the first place. So, thank you for your patience. So, let's start off here. Miami Beach police arrest man for making parody police Twitter account. This actually came out October 5th, almost a week ago, by Jerry Iannelli from the Miami New Times. A few months ago, Miami Beach police spokesperson Ernesto Rodriguez joked over the phone with a New Times reporter that someone had made parody Twitter account pretending to be him. At the time, the page seemed like a gag. Today, it's not so funny, at least for the page's creator. Miami Beach police say they have arrested the impersonator Ernesto Orsetti in a move that is certain to raise First Amendment and electronic rights concerns. The department is charging Orsetti under a law that makes it illegal to impersonate a cop. Florida's false impersonation statute does not specifically refer to impersonating anyone online, and it appears the case might set as a precedent for what conduct is or is not permissible on the internet. As far as Miami Beach police are concerned, they claim it clears Orsetti broke the law. Their behavior here was outrageous. MPPD Chief Dan Oates said in an afternoon news release, "It threatened to damage the reputation for our superb public information officer, as well as the Miami Beach Police Department brand. We simply can't tolerate such impersonation, and I am glad Mr. Orsetti will now be held accountable." The real Rodriguez was made aware of the fake account at Ernie Rod MB at January 19th, after NBC6 reporter Jamie Girola pointed out its existence. They say imitation is a sincere form of flattery, Rodriguez wrote. Just shows the amount of free time folks have. Rodriguez noted in a second tweet that the account was generating some great laughs, as opposed to, say, decimating clearly false and dangerous information. The fake account has been suspended, but that's apparently not enough for the MPPD. And you can see the tweets in here as well. According to the department's arrest report, the 48-year-old Orsetti was arrested at his Miami Beach home at 1:45 p.m. today after cops executed a search warrant on his computer. The police report says Orsetti is unemployed. Orsetti lists himself as a former model and journalist on his personal Twitter account. So let's hold on here for a moment. They arrested him. Okay? Department's arrest report, when they executed a search warrant. How about a warrant for his arrest? That's the question, my friends. So this is based on the report. Let's see how far it goes. Defendant falsely created and assumed the identity of the victim, active police officer, police information officer via Twitter, the report says. Twitter account at Ernie Rod MB had a marked Miami Beach police vehicle and a photo of the victim in uniform. The report claims Orsetti communicated with local media, elected officials, and in the community, but does not explain that Orsetti did or said or why the officers arrested him. Instead, simply requesting that Twitter suspend the account. At least one similar arrest 3 years ago set privacy activist Angus aflame In 2014, Peoria, Illinois police raided the home of a man running an account of parodying then Mayor Jim Ardis. Police have authorized a warrant under the state's impersonation a public official statute, but wound up seizing computers and arresting a roommate for marijuana possession. At the time, Green, a senior staff attorney at Electronic Frontier Foundation, said the raid was clearly unconstitutional and that parody is protected by free speech under the First Amendment. City of Peoria wound up paying the man $125,000 for the raid after the American Civil Liberties Union sued. And there you can look at the press release yourself on this. And of course, there says here in the NYPD, MPD arrest resident impersonating. So in March 2016, in Parma, Ohio, arrested a man for creating a Facebook account called the City of Parma Police Department, which was too similar for the real Parma PD Facebook. That department had warned residents about it. But rather, the act was criminal is another story. The jury acquitted the man 4 months later. So he will be posting updates on here. And what's interesting about this, because this is just an interesting claim that he impersonated an officer, and that's considered a third-degree felony. And according to Florida Statute 843.08, falsely impersonates an officer, etc. A person who falsely assumes or pretends to be a sheriff, officer of the Florida Highway Patrol, officer of the Fish and Wildlife Commission, officer of the Department of Transportation, officer of the Department of Financial Services, officer of the Department of Corrections, correctional officer, probation officer, deputy sheriff, state attorney or assistant state attorney, statewide prosecutor or assistant statewide prosecutor, state attorney, investigator, coroner, police officer, lottery special agent or lottery investigator, beverage enforcement agent or watchman or any other member of the parole commission, and any administrative aide or supervisor employed by the commission or any personnel representative of the Department of Law Enforcement, a federal law enforcement officer as defined in Statute 901.1505, and takes upon himself or herself act to such as to require any person to aid or assist him or her in a manner pertaining to the duty of any such officer commits a felony of the third degree. Punishment was provided in 775.082, 083, or 084. 775. However, a person who falsely impersonates any such officer during the course of the commission of a felony commits a felony of the second degree, as a punishment was provided in 775.082, 083, 084. So, if the commission of the felony results in the death or personal injury of another human being, the person commits the felony in the first degree. Punishment is still the same. So, it doesn't say anything about communications, internet. That's one thing you gotta look at. You gotta try to use this statute against Mr. Orsetti. So, I'll leave that in my footnotes for sure. However, now, let's just look at this, what the American Civil Liberties Union has to say about this, which came out a few days ago, a couple days, by the same gentleman, Jerry and Ellie, Miami New Times. ACLU Civil Liberties Group voiced concern over Twitter parody arrest in Miami Beach. A person of the right to make fun of elected officials on the internet is enshrined in the U.S. Constitution. So many Miami Beach police have quite a high bar to clear if they want to prove that resident Ernesto Orsetti was illegally impersonating a cop. They created a fake Twitter profile purporting to be Miami Beach police spokesperson Ernesto Rodriguez. Even if Orsetti pretended to be a cop online, the First Amendment protects that speech as long as it's obvious to the public that he was kidding. Representatives of the two civil liberties organizations said Orsetti's arrest last Thursday could violate the First Amendment, depending upon exactly what Orsetti was posting under the fake profile. The Florida chapter of the American Civil Liberties Union, and the National Electronic Frontier Foundation said MBPD needs to provide hard evidence that our city's conduct was an actual public menace as opposed to an annoying joke. As of today, it is impossible to tell. After Beach PD noticed the account in January, they had Twitter suspended Orsetti's handle, Ernie Rod DMB, put on January 19th when an NBC6 reporter told Rodriguez about the fake page. He treated it as a joke, which the Florida ACLU director Howard Simon says might be a bad sign for the department's case, although the content of the now suspended Twitter account will determine the facts of the case. It is very concerning that Miami Beach police would arrest someone for engaging with their own spokesperson initially treated as a parody, protected by the right of free speech, Simon said via email. If this was indeed just a parody account, we hope to hear from Mr. Orsetti to see the tweets in question. We also hope that the state attorney would not want to become one of the first prosecutors in the country to use law prohibiting the impressions of a public officer to punish someone for online political expression. And hopefully Kathy Brandis-Rundle will be smart not to pursue this. Neither the city's news release nor the official arrest report list Orsetti's online remarks. So far, the city has simply said the 48-year-old suspect interacted with local media, public officials, and citizens before his Twitter account was shut down. From that information alone, it's impossible to tell if Orsetti's actions were illegal. New Times asked Miami Beach Police Chief Dan Oates Thursday for more information about. Oates has not responded. However, Oates explained a bit more to the Miami Herald and hinted that his officers arrested Orsetti more for what he could have done rather than what he actually did. Who knows what the damage he could have done to Rodriguez's reputation and the brand of the department had we not noticed and gotten Twitter to shut off the account, Oates told the Herald. David Green, a lawyer for the Electronic Frontier Foundation, tells New Times there's a fine line between parody and causing public harm. He says that the case concerns him, but that is too early to call the arrest unconstitutional. If the only reason the government wants to censor something is that it annoys or bothers, that's not a valid reason, Green said. If he was doing something, wanting people to believe it was the police spokesperson, that raises different issues. I'm not saying that would definitely be illegal either, but it raises different issues. He has a Twitter page, Ernesto Orsetti. Police have not had much luck prosecuting similar cases. In 2014, the ACLU sued cops raided a home in Peoria, Illinois. One of the home's residents who was running an account making fun of the mayor and won a $125,000 settlement in 2016. The Ohio man was acquitted for impersonating the cop online after he made a fake account purporting to be run by the local police department. According to the Herald, Orsetti has had multiple run-ins with Beach PD. Chief Oates told the newspaper Orsetti was once banned from City Hall for allegedly harassing employees and has frequently made complaints against cops and city officials. According to our county court records, Orsetti was once arrested for assault and battery, but those charges were dropped. And so right there, I have looked into that as well. The fact might explain why the department went an extra mile to charge Orsetti with the crime after shutting down his Twitter account. If this arrest was simply to shut up a critic, Simon says it's not legal. Every police officer is sworn to uphold the Constitution, which protects everyone's right to free speech. Oates said public officials, including the police, are not immune from criticism nor parody. In fact, criticism and sometimes mockery comes with the territory of being a public official. Under the First Amendment, Police cannot arrest people for mocking public figures, including and especially when the police themselves are targets for criticism. As long as you don't make any threats, my friends, towards them, or go up to the face, or touch them, that is considered free speech. Just to make that clear. Because even before the Supreme Court made that statement, that you can have a debate with a police officer, as long as you don't go up to their faces or touch them, then that's considered a threat. Just to make that clear. So, I don't know who is eating up more. I don't know if this is officer spokesperson Ernesto Rodriguez. Maybe the police chief will probably call all the shots. I won't be surprised. What's funny about that, because he had a free speech battle before, it was on my past episodes, when they're citing sales representatives along Lake Monroe Mall and trying to go to chit-chat, have conversations with the pedestrians in the mall to try to sign for illegal sales and so forth. So listen, but they lost that in court because of free speech. It's in my past episodes, you can look that up. But one thing for sure you have to really kind of see is that based on the arrest of Ernesto, they only got him for that. We don't know how much more they have. And I'm going to talk about that for sure. And according to Article 1, Section 4 of the Florida Constitution, freedom of speech and press, every person may speak, write, and publish sentiments on all subjects, but shall be responsible for the abuse of that right. No law shall be passed to restrain or abridge the liberty of speech or of the press. And all criminal prosecutions and civil actions for defamation, the truth may be given evidence. If the matter charges as defamatory is true and was published with good motives, the party shall be acquitted or exonerated. So you can crack jokes, be critical of these governmental delegates or government, because the fact is, police officers are considered governmental delegates. Let's make that clear. Someone very sensitive in the city of Miami Beach. I could thank my Facebook colleagues, Tom Bowker, for bringing this out to me. And he just typed in my name, goes, check this out, boom. And I know he is considered, they may just try to find a way of deporting them if convicted. Something you gotta look at too, because he's considered an immigrant. And according here, I believe he's out on bail right now. I will put the rap sheet on him as well. And of course, he was arrested on the 5th for falsely impersonating an officer, which is considered a felony. It tells you all that there. And I will add the arrest as the case as well from Miami-Dade-Clerk.com. I think he's on bail. It's $5,000 issued today. So he did plead not guilty. He demands trial by jury, waiver of pre-trial conference. The Raymond hearing shall be scheduled on the 26th of this month at 9 a.m. If you can make it down there, that would be great. I may have to check in, give you my intake on this. I want to try to make it, see what happens. So a lot of interesting stuff is happening here, my friends. But you can look at all that. I will put that in the footnotes. And of course, the past bug shots, which got dropped, which I thought robbery, sudden snatch, theft, battery, but you got dropped, so I'm gonna definitely admit that. So that is dismissed, which I see according to the case. So I'm gonna recant those sites. But one thing you gotta look at when it comes to free speech, it is essential. This is going on for a lot of places. It's a battle, war on free speech, war on your natural born rights. You can talk about Article 1, Section 4 of the Florida Constitution, but Article 1, Section 2, basic rights, is considered. Natural born rights are inalienable. So I'm going to leave the Florida Constitution up there as well. I recommend everyone out there go support this man called Principles. You don't have to like him. If his rights get infringed, yours are affected as well. And to the city of Miami Beach. Looks like Mayor Levine, Philip Levine, wants to run for governor. If you support this cause, I recommend you withdraw your candidacy, because I guarantee you this, you will be ridiculed everywhere you go because you breached your oath of office under Article 2, Section 5 of our state constitution. That's right. If Kathy Rundle pursues this, she may be jeopardizing her oath as well. So I'm going to add here like 6 more articles on follownews.com about Ernesto Orsetti. And it's really interesting. So I can tell you, my friends, free Ernesto Orsetti, because if you can criticize, if they don't like it, Cuba is right across the Florida Straits. Head down there, because it contaminates space over here. That's how far I will go. I thank everyone for listening, plus feel free to download and share throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or even saying something that's interesting you may want to check out, whatever you do, please address your correspondence with decorum. You can hit me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Tumblr, YouTube, Freedoms Network, Scene.life, Minds.com, FutureNet.club, Patreon.com/Logan III. If you want to be my patron, donor, supporter, I would be highly appreciate it. Plus, you can get me on Gab, G-A-B, which is gab.ai, which is like a freer version of Twitter. Alright, so it looks like there's been censorship going on with the Facebook, Twitter, Google+, so just to let you folks know. Alright? In addition, you can email me at LokiLuck3@gmail.com, or to you encrypted fans, LokiLuck03@protonmail.com. Alright, my friends, that's all for now. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourself. Keep on spreading love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.